Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, mysterious voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I have found in my travels. Today, I want to talk about some poetry that I read because it is Poetry Thursday. As I mentioned in my monthly TBR video, I am going to be starting to talk more about LGBTQA poets, basically from now until the end of July, because rather than simply doing it in June, I want to highlight the LGBT queer experience, for more than just 1 month at a time. And so today I'm going to be talking about a poet who is somewhere on that spectrum. I'm not 100% where, and it's not really my business to ask. Today's poem is all about something. I'm not quite sure. It's a very bizarre kind of poem. I am referring to Queerodactyl by Roy Guzman. For those who don't know, Roy Guzman is a Honduran-American writer, mostly known for writing poetry, and a lot of his work has been published within the past 10 years, so a fairly new poet. They've won a number of awards for their work, and they've gotten a couple bits of poetry published here and there, but I don't know too much else about Roy Guzman. It does appear like according to their bio, that they use they/them pronouns, but that just might be how those various organizations are writing the bio. And I don't know 100% for sure if they are queer or anything like that, but the title of this poem and the the fact that they've written about the Pulse nightclub shooting suggests that there is some connection there, the very nature of which, again, I'm not really sure. But without further ado, let's talk about this poem. I will read it, do a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. Queerodactyl. Spandex leggings authenticating my anaerobic exit strategies. Crotch, but a bumper sticker and a heretofore fleeting Waterloo. Crunk repentance. I span our doomed alphabet soup like Jane Fonda's anti-war legs and calisthenic videos. My zenith of hair a brown wannabe faucet, mean old toucan pubic papa. He who so feeds on an entire corpus and still starves, helms the colloquium outside the bathroom of transubstantiation. Tonight, a vastly archived Nietzschean nighttime, I anal bleach my Humpty Dumpty stigmatas. Boys conch with crimson Hollywood carpets that disentangle from their cavities, accustoming their catwalks upon the blood clots of their mamacitas. As twilight uncrowns the shade, I howl effluvium, switchblade hue to hue. I plie before the gas cloud, lifting jumbo leaves. Like a mythic infantry, the thirsty roaches begin to leather flock. In terms of analysis, what's going on here? As you can see by this poem, Queerodactyl doesn't exactly follow the traditional narrative. I'd say it's pretty close to some other poets that I've found, but haven't really wanted to talk about because I haven't really understood their poetry and what exactly would I talk about there. But it's clear that the narrative, although it might be hard to identify, it still exists there. And I do think that what the poet here, Guzman, is talking about is going to a club and maybe picking up someone there and going home with that person and, having a good time, as far as I can guess. And the clues are scattered throughout the poem. They specifically say, spandex leggings authenticating my anaerobic exit strategies. Crotch, but a bumper sticker and a heretofore fleeting Waterloo. Crunk repentance, I span our doomed alphabet soup like Jane Fonda's anti-war legs and calisthenic videos. And what I think is happening there is like the narrator is describing the clothes that they're wearing, party clothes, going out clothes. Crunk repentance, crunk was sort of a dance style or of some sort in the mid 2000s. I span our doomed alphabet soup. I think they're dancing, and the way that they're dancing is that they're describing themselves as matching letters of an alphabet soup, kind of like Jane Fonda's anti-war legs. You could also translate this to mean that it's sex. Like, this is just them, like two people having sex and doing it in a variety of positions. And like, they also go on to say, he who feeds on an entire corpus and still starves helms the colloquium outside the bathroom of transubstantiation. And I don't know, like, the sex is so good that it elevates the mind, or the dancing is so good like that it elevates the mind. And they say, tonight, a vastly archived Nietzschean nighttime, I anableach my Humpty Dumpty stigmatas. Stigmatas being the Christ sort of related things on the hands, but saying that you're anal bleaching, I think it's very interesting kind of how it's taking maybe conservative nomenclature there and translating it into something that might be gay or queer, kind of conflicting in those ways. And then they say, boys conch with crimson Hollywood carpets that disentangle from their cavities, accustoming their catwalks upon the blood clots of their mamacitas as twilight uncrowns the shade. And again, they go on and on and on, and it's I think it's like as the night goes on, like the partying becomes more elaborate, more wild and whatnot. Specifically saying, they howl effluvium, switchblade hue to hue, I plie before the gas cloud lifting jumbo leaves. So just like getting really into the dancing of what appears to be a nightclub or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like this poem is very open to interpretation, and like the only person who truly knows what it means is Roy Guzman. But I do like the sort of extra, very very flamboyant nature of the poem, and capturing maybe the atmosphere of going out, or in this case being a queerodactyl, someone who's very out and loud about being perhaps gay or queer of some a type of queer of some sort. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Queerodactyl by Roy Guzman. A pretty solid, if very strange poem. I'll admit I don't completely understand it. If you think that you understand it, let me know what your thoughts are in a conversation or in a comment below. I would love to have a conversation with you about this poem. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that we can talk more about poems and whatnot, or perhaps so that other people can find out about this poet or this poem if they don't already know. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and flamboyant travels. Farewell.